smaller events on the tour. We have about up to a dozen events a year that count around the world, and they're all weighted the same prize money and stuff. So they're all equal. But this is really the only one in the mainland. It's the only one in the mainland U.S. that counts towards our world tour. We do have one at Pipeline in Hawaii as well, and then we have them in Australia and Fiji and Tahiti and Africa, and so pretty much a worldwide tour. We travel all around.
Are you surprised how surfing, the interest in surfing has just skyrocketed all around the country, even in Middle America, the small towns, even inland people, even in foreign countries, they're really mesmerized by surfing?
You know, I think there was such a fascination with surfing in the 50s and 60s, and then, you know, around, say, I don't know, the 70s, it became sort of like, you know, it got this image like a drug culture, and there's a lot of sort of outcasts that, you know, took off and bailed and went surfing, and so that really sort of, it seemed like that kind of became the culture to a lot of people, and they didn't understand it. So I think people are starting to just fall in love with surfing again. You know, it's healthy, it's fun. It's a great family sport, you know. I see kids surfing with their grandparents, and you know, it's exciting. You get to, you know, plan all your trips to go around the world and, you know, visit the most exotic places and meet really cool people and see great cultures, and you know.
When you're out on that board doing what you do, I mean, I'm just mesmerized by describe when you're standing on that board, what exactly, how you do what you do.
Well, you can really get into detail about that. I mean, surfing's a pretty complex thing. There's so many things happening at once because it's a moving platform, you know. You're trying to judge this thing that's moving and changing shape, and you're trying to adjust your body and fit your board onto it in the right way with the right speed and the right timing, and you know, it's a pretty dynamic sport in that way. So, I mean, it doesn't matter if you've been surfing for 30 years like I have, or just been starting recently. You know, you're still always learning. There's always that learning curve never stops. You're always figuring something out, and you know, I guess at the upper level, it's more minute, detailed kind of things. You're learning about your equipment and really small little changes in maybe where your feet stand on the board, and you know, how to gain speed in certain ways. You know, there's a lot of small little detailed things you learn as you get better, but you know, when you first learn, it's almost every single wave you're learning something different, and I think that challenge presents. You know, most people welcome that. Some people get scared away by it, and you know, maybe get a board in the face and get some stitches or something. But you know, I always tell people who are starting out, never let the board get between you and the wave. If you fall, just make sure you don't get in front of the wave with your board between you and the wave. So. You know, that has scared off quite a few people. And, you know, I always hear these horror stories. First time I surfed, I got 20 stitches in my head, and I never went back. And I understand that, you know. But you know, there's an art to falling too. But you know, it's just such a great fun thing. You know, we're just here at the beach. You got so many people from around the world, and people from Israel, from Australia, from England, Ireland, and Tahiti, and you know, it's just a melting pot of people that surf from all around the world.
When I continue to read about surfers, it seems like there's a great concern for the environment. Mm-hmm. What's the connection between surfing and the environment?
Well, I mean, arguably surfers spend more time in the environment than anyone else in the world for what they love to do. And, you know, we're the ones that see firsthand what washes up on the beaches, what's in the water, what the water smells like. You know, I have a friend who just here in Orange County, Southern Orange County, he started an environmental group because his kids were getting sick surfing the local spot. So he knew all the businessmen. He started a group called My Ocean, and he went to the golf course and got them to put in a filtration system to get all the chemicals out, you know, clean up the local waterways, things like that. Everything flowing out into the ocean, you know, it ends up right on the shore. So it's important to, you know, it's important to us because it's our livelihood, it's our health, it's really just our lives. And so, I mean, if you're a surfer, you're an environmentalist by default. You know, even if you didn't grow up being that concerned with it, you know, you become that.
Do you support any particular foundation?
I work with a few different groups. Obviously, Surf Rider is probably the one most people would recognize. It comes from our world that has done a lot of big things.
the future of surfing. You said Jordy Smith is the future of surfing. I mean, that's a great compliment to give a young man.
Yeah, you know, Jordy Smith and Dane Reynolds really are, at this point, they're the future of what we're watching, and this is really their coming out party at this event. And you know, Dane beat the number 1, number 2 guy in the world this week, and they effectively took out all the guys that I'm competing against, and I won't have to come up against either one of them until potentially the semis or the finals. So, you know, those guys they're young, they're exciting, they're really hungry, and they're getting more and more experience every day.
When you started surfing as a kid, did you ever dream of 8 world titles and the possibility of a 9th world title?
No, I guess somewhere in my head I would dream that I could try and match Mark Richards, who had 4. He's an Australian. He won 4 back-to-back in the early 80s, from I think from about 79 to 82. And you know, when I was a little kid, I never even imagined I could go for a world title. I remember when I was about 10, I heard a friend of mine say he wanted to be a world champ one day. And that kind of baffled me. I mean, I was thinking bigger than I ever thought, coming from a small town. And you know, when you're a kid, the world's a huge place. And it just seemed like each year it got a little bit smaller, and now it seems like everywhere in the world's home to me. And I know when I was a kid, if I were to look forward and see where I'm at now, I probably wouldn't believe it. So you know, I'm really proud of that, and happy for what I've achieved. But you know, it's like the world feels like my home now. And you know, next week we're in France, and the week after that I'm going to Israel, and then to Japan, and then back to Brazil the week after that, and then back to Florida. So it's you know, it's really become a lifestyle for me. And
you're able to sleep on airplanes?
Well, yeah, the first probably 10 years I traveled, I was always in economy class, trying to save money. So, you know, now and then I get a seat that goes all the way back now, so I get to sleep. But
and you knock out.
Just pass out. But it's you know, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Hey, Kelly, great interview.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Nice talking to
Thank you very much for your time.
All right.